Hi, this is Michael Schmalley, and I'm here with part two of the RTFM Machine series. And in this part, I am talking about the machine UI. And the, the machine UI is not like an ordinary DAW or application for that matter. It has a really interesting layout, which probably confuses some people. Um, Basically, it's very simple. It They really actually did a pretty good job designing this, in my opinion, because once you understand it and find its limitations of what it can do, that actually becomes a benefit because then the user interface becomes transparent and it just becomes what you're looking at instead of searching for stuff and user interfaces that are a lot more complicated and have more menus and toolbars and sections and tabs. And most of the stuff in the UI relates to the controller. Whether you have a Machine Micro, a Machine, or the Studio. Because basically the Machine Studio is pretty much the Machine except the bigger screens, and you have this edit area and the master volume, group volumes, and the instrument routings. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. It has all the same navigation and pads and everything. So, okay. Basically, I had started a video before this and tried using the F4 key for what they say the shortcut key is for the browser, and on my computer and Windows it doesn't work. So that was kind of embarrassing, but now I'm just saying it that it doesn't work. I tried it without full screen and with full screen, and it doesn't work for some reason. Okay, so the first part is we have the browser, so you can toggle the magnifying glass, get some more screen. And most of the time I use it, I just leave it open. I don't know. Maybe I have confined. It doesn't really bother me being open because unless I'm working strictly on the controller, but then I'm browsing through the controller and I'm not even looking at the screen. Okay. So we have the browser, and as earlier in episodes, these are the File Explorer and the Library Explorer, and then it has the sub tabs, and then the tagging. So it's all drill down. Native Instruments really nailed the whole drill down design pattern and user interface design. Yeah, I come from application development, so I like thinking about how these applications are made with the UI designers, and they did a good job. Okay, when this is loaded as a plugin, you can go to the View menu and select these different sizes. It usually, when you load it as a VST and a DAW, it pops up as small, and it doesn't save this, which is kind of annoying because I always go to large for my screen. And as you can see, I'm in full screen right now. And that shortcut for full screen is Control F. Shortcuts are your friend. Control F for full screen. And as I said, for the browser, it's F4, but that doesn't work for me. It might work for you. I don't know. I don't understand what the problem is. And then one thing that I didn't get, and this is a perfect example of why you should read the manual or at least listen to stuff like this, is because for the longest time I was like lazy and clicking this button up here. Okay? That's toggling the arranger to the mixer and the VST view that's right here. Well, if you read the manual tells you very simply that you can use the tab key, kind of like an Ableton. Okay? Now what's interesting is that for some reason hid, I don't know what's going on. That hid the browser the first time I did it. Okay. Now the real fun part is we have the tab key here that saves massive time clicking if you use the tab key instead of the mouse clicking that button. I'm using the tab key. Now on the controller, if you press shift and navigate, you can toggle back and forth. So if your hands are right next to the controller here, you don't even need to hit the tab key, you just shift navigate. We're looking at the mixer, we're looking at the arranger. Okay, and then up here on the controller we have the mix. So then we're looking at the mixer, and then we can page left and right. So we got group 1 through 8, group 9 through 16. Okay, and then we can look at our arranger, but the shift and navigate doesn't toggle the displays, just FYI. It just toggles in the application. But this one is a huge time saver. Memorize shift navigate, because that one I use all the time. I use it all the time. It saves a lot of time. Okay, and then we have in the arranger, we have the sub, which we have the sub view as the velocity is part of MIDI data, and so this is what they call the control lane. So you can show hide that. We don't have any, I don't see any shortcut keys for that. So you've got this sub view within the arranger, the control lanes with this button, and then we have the pages, the automation pages and macro pages, which this doesn't have anything set up right now, but that you can get more screen if you're not using that stuff. So these are sub-collapsible in these panes right here. So you have the automation pages and then the control lanes. And so basically that is that, you know, that's the UI. Those are the main panels of this, you know. And then you have one more, you know, tab group right here, which is your plugin parameters. And then you have the sub tabs, the master, group, and sound, as in the last episode, you know. And then we have, this will be covered later, we have the channel properties, which has a bunch of nice stuff to customize the sounds and groups into more distinct and routable pieces. And then, you know, the arranger. So you have two arrangers. You have the scene arranger and the pattern note event arranger. And other than that, you can resize right here and, you know, use the scroll bars, double click to zoom the whole thing. I will say this, there are a couple annoying things about how you navigate in Maschine that bug me, but I can't do anything about it, you know. So anyway, that is the UI, and yes, I haven't covered any of the controls, but we're RTFM and we haven't got there yet. We're reading the manual. Okay, thank you, and see you on the next one.